Hi, it's Jess here from Nigezza.co.uk. Thank you for joining me today. So it's Wednesday, it's a junk journal video, and I'm going to do a junk journal beginner video, but obviously anybody could follow it as well. I'm going to do some vintage ephemera and how to make them old. So I have been collecting, got a bit of glare there, let me just move that slightly. That's not really helped much. So I go to charity shops, junk shops, eBay, and I have been buying myself lots of vintage ephemera since I got into junk journals about 2.5 years ago now. It was before the pandemic. In the January before the pandemic, I made the decision to buy my first junk journal, and then since then I've been obsessed by all things vintage. Now these receipts, they are on really thin paper, and I've got loads of them. I'm in the process of working out whether or not they're in copyright or not, so that if they're not, I can scan them. The ages range from 1865 through to 1940s. A lot of these are the 40s. Some of them are really old, 1895. But I have got a lot from like the 40s. That one, can't even see a date on that. Dead old though. Yeah, so I've got loads of things. That's from 1928. Here we are. 22. So a range of, and I've got lots and lots of old photographs as well. Absolutely love old photos, and I've got all these beautiful cabinet cards. So I paid £1 for that one, £1 for that one, £1.50 for that one, and some of them, these ones, I think it was these ones, yeah, these are the ones that are hole based. I bought a Victorian photo album. Had no idea it was a Victorian photo album. I just thought it was a beautiful album, and inside were these things, and I thought they were just like the photos that often if you buy a photo frame, it's got a photo in just to show. And it wasn't until I was watching somebody else showing their Victorian photo album, I went, oh, it's a little bit like mine. And then I took the photos out and realised, oh, there actually are proper cabinet cards. What a wonderful find. I paid £1, got about 12, and yet some of these I paid £1 each for. But yeah, so that was a very good find, and I think most of those are okay to copy now. So got lots of things. I do like there's some bridge school cards which I thought were brilliant. I think I paid about 10p for them. I've got lots and lots of vintage postcards. They're not all in here, and I love them when they've got writing on them. And then I've got various tickets that I've bought, and I have bought digital kits of ephemera as well, which have got tickets in, which I use a lot. But my thoughts were that I was going to put original, if I sell my journals, I'll put original ephemera in them, because not everybody, got loads of stamps. I've got a few there, and I've got shed loads, absolute shed loads. So yeah, and I thought it'd just be nice to chuck in some original stuff. I've got here, this was an eBay find. So I've got a German passport. It's actually not that old, it's 1989. But it's got all these beautiful things in, which I just thought would be lovely, just slotted in a journal. And these, so I did think about destroying it, cutting it up and adding it. It's not that old, so, but I just think these are just stunning. And oh, that's the person. Wow, it was in a, don't know who she is. Could look her up. Beautiful picture. So yeah, And then there's a Spanish ID card there. That's from 63. So before I was born. So well old that, but just a nice little bit of ephemera. So I think some of these things nice to just pop in a journal. And then I've got an amazing old will here from I want to say 1896. So yeah, it's massive, but beautiful writing. The antique seller said no copyright on it. Fill your boots, copy it, do whatever you want. So I have. It's lush. I love the envelope as well. So I've been collecting them about a month ago. I decided to put them in this plastic wallet here so that I know what I've got, and I just tend to look through it and go, oh, I like that, oh, that's lovely, oh, look at all my pretties. And I don't do anything with them, but I have, and I mean, I know that people, you know, maybe aren't so lucky to find such things, but you can buy digital kits on Etsy that have them. So this is the old design shop. So I'm leaving that sticker on there because I forget, although I've written it on there. So I bought this kit from the old design shop, and I have used these numerous times for different things. These bigger ones I have printed and used them as actual pages in the journal. But these are just lovely. 1919. Where's the date on this one? That was 1914. 1918. So, yeah, I just think they're fabulous. And I wanted to make them look a little bit more authentic. So I printed them off on very, very thin paper. I did a video ages ago on making your digital ephemera look more genuine and old. I think it was a Tracy Fox challenge. It was a long time ago. It was probably during lockdown. And somebody said, have you ever used layout paper? Never even heard of layout paper. But so I went and looked, and it's 50 GSM. So it's really, really thin. So it's not as thin as it's not as thin as tracing paper, but you can see my hand through there a little bit. But it's really thin, and often receipts used to be on, you used to use that blue sheet between two sheets, and the back one would be on thinner paper, and that'd be what you're given as a receipt. So I thought, yeah, that would make the ephemera look much more authentic because it's on thinner paper, and you can see a little bit of it through on the other side. So that's what I did. So all these are printed out on those things, and here's an example of what I've done with them. So I shall show you how I did that, but that is one of the old design shops, and I've just sort of inked the back a bit. You can still see some of the writing through. That looks like that's been folded up for 100 years in a drawer somewhere. Great. And likewise that one. Some of them have lines on it, so you can kind of see where they were folded, and I tend to fold along those, but I'll show that more in a moment. Now, you can get free stuff on the internet, and this lot I have sourced myself. Public domain stuff found on the internet. That looks like that's been printed on slightly thicker. Actually, that one. Not that it matters. So I sourced these out. There's a wonderful video, or several videos, by a YouTuber who I can't remember now. Main name has just gone out my brain. I'll link down below. She does several videos on how to source copyright free public domain things. There's lots and lots of sites out there that you can get them from. I'll name some. Raw Pixel is one I use, and these all came from the Smithsonian archives. So you can go on and search their archives and get things. I think the New York Library does as well. I'm not sure if any libraries in the UK have. I haven't gone that far, to be honest. Some things I've managed to download, and sometimes you get so far and it's like, oh, you don't have authorization to go here, so you can't. But what is cool is, so here is a letter from 1890, and they've scanned it in. They've also scanned the back. How amazingly cool is that? So you can see this is from the Century Collection. So that's a stamp from the museum. I'm not bothered about that. So it's got the back on it as well as the front. And for the most part, you can, if you print on one side and then stick it back in and print on the other, generally it lines up. I've got a few misprints, but for the most part, I've managed it. And so I love the fact that these print on both sides. Some things will have a grey outline, but you've got the back and you've got the front. So I just think that is spectacular. I mean, that is just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Here we got a certificate there. And I say there it is on the back. This one, yeah. So if I hold it up to the light to see that it is the same. So what a lovely bit of ephemera to tuck in your journal. So you don't have to spend money. You do have to have a printer, but I think with junk journaling, that is a good investment. Now this is not on the contact paper. I can see this is on thicker paper, but that's okay. It doesn't all have to be on the thin paper. So I love these, that they are printed on both sides, and you've even got people's doodling. How fabulous is that? So so yeah, well, I think that's the second time I've got one of them. I think that one's been, that's a misprint. You can see that's the letter, and that's the other side of the letter. Actually, I think that might fold up together. That looks like the back side of that. And on here, it's clearly not, is it? That's the back side of something else. So I went wrong. I've written misprint, but that's fine. I'll use this in collaging. So there we go. Just a little chat there about ephemera and where you can get it from. So now let's have a look at making it look more authentic. So how do I get that to look like that? It's even got a nice feel about it. And that could be journaling space on the back, or it's just something of interest to look at. So obviously, as you can see, I have done a little bit of inking on it. So the first thing I want to do is get rid of the white edges. So I just use my metal ruler. I always turn my metal ruler upside down because it's got cork on that side, so it's not exactly flat. So I turn it upside down. I hold tight, that's the shorter side, and I just rip. So that's taken the top off, and there's a little bit there, and you can see it's not neat, which is exactly what I want. Now I could have done this so that it wasn't down the sides as well. So I could have made the sides rough like this, but I haven't. I'm not sure that all the sides of the documents would be rough anyway. So yeah. So that's that. So that's a good start. Now we can see there's lines there, line across there, faint line across there, bit of a line across there. So it has clearly been folded at some point. So I'm going along where those lines are and giving it giving it a fold. And I imagine, yeah, so we'll fold the two together along where that fold is. Like so, and then it's clearly been folded there as well. So that's putting those folds nicely back in. And I might take the bone folder, give it a good crease. That is to imitate 100 years of laying about folded up. Okay, so that's got the creases back in. And then I'm just going to do a gentle scrunch. Just a gentle scrunch. Like so. Okay, so now we want to do some inking. So I'm going to bring in soft suede because that is my colour of preference. And I'm going to bring my, I can't, oh, do you know, where's my little inker? It's always there. And can't find it. Can't find it. Oh, there's one back there. Shall I use that one? It's a bit manky, isn't it? It'll be fine. We'll use that one. I've usually got a square one, I'm sure. Maybe it is a round one and I've just misremembered. So I'm going down each of those creases that I've made. And these are great for tucking in pockets that you make on your journal page. Or you can, as I say, I have printed them on to 120 GSM presentation paper and use these as actual pages in my journal. And I think they make quite interesting pages. Ones that are, if you buy a digital image, you can't then redigitize it and, you know, make something new out of it. You have to use it as is. You can alter it in its form like this, but you can't use the scanned image in your own creations digitally. They all have different terms and conditions, so you have to sort of read them to check you're doing it right. But one of the ones that I have sourced myself from Raw Pixel or Smithsonian, I've used other places as well, but I can't remember them all. Then I can. So I have sort of used documents like this, trying to create my own digital backgrounds. As if you've got a messy desk. I quite like the messy desk look. As if you've got lots and lots of paperwork lying around your desk. That would be how my desk would look. And you know, little tickets tucked behind, little ink splodges, that sort of thing. So I am enjoying having a go at making digitals. So that's that. So that's those lines put in. Now we've done a bit of this our creasing. So I'm going to come in with a blending brush and just go around where the creases are to try and vary where it picks up the ink to. So we get some can you see how that's giving a different effect, because it's just picking up on those sort of edges there, which I think is quite cool. And then you can do the same on the front as well. And sometimes a flatter one might work better if you want less subtlety and a bit more stronger impression. And so it just adds to that sort of aged look, as if you've just got it out of the attic. And then of course you want to go around the edges, so these edges that are ripped, going to go around and go around the sides. You can use a pair of scissors to rough them up a little bit if you want to. It doesn't matter if you get little rips, that adds to its authenticity, I think. Now I've started, I will finish, but you don't have to do this. And so they might not necessarily be roughed up around the edges. Not all the ones in my little folder are. You can get tools to de-stress, and I've got one, but I actually find that this works just as well. So, got little bits there, so I'll go up that little ripped edge. So already you can see how it's taken on a much older look, and it's just quite a nice sort of thing to do without thinking. If you lost your mojo a bit, or you're not inspired, doing something like this doesn't require any thought, and you can just do it. You're creating, and then you've got a stash then for when you're making a journal. You can just shove something in. You've got a pocket, you think, I want to put something in that. Oh, I know, I'll put in one of them documents that I've created that I want to make look old. So now what I want to do is, it's not quite big enough, let's pull out 2 sheets here. This is I use my old Stampin' Up catalogues to save me surface. So now I'm just gonna go around now and turn that a bit of a different colour, give it a little bit of aged look there. It is very thin paper, so it will rock up whilst you're doing it, which I think is a good thing. So sort of trying to get a similar colour to the other side. You're not going to get exact, it doesn't really matter. And actually on some of the receipts, each side of the paper might be slightly different anyway. So that's that. And then you might want to add some stamping. I always like to add a bit of stamping, and I've got different stamp sets that I use for this purpose. Let me pull out my favourites, which of course I didn't get ready before we started. So I've got this one that's got an interesting sort of splodge there. This is a brand new one to me. Love that. That sold me just on that, really. And then my Quiet Meadow has got a lovely bit of splodging. So yeah, so I just add different splodges to go on. We'll have that one. We'll have that one. And this is, I think, it's not like the veins of leaves, but I think it makes a nice, interesting, dirty mark. I do have a stamp set with like a coffee cup stain, which is quite cool. So let's put it that way. So we're going to have a bit of an ink stain there. More likely as well to have ink stains on the other side, although it's not an ink pen that's been used on this. This is being typed, but I do like putting little ink stains on it. Like some age dots, old documents, old books have these dots. I love it when I buy an old book and you can see the dots, and I do scan some of those pages in because nature's created that. And well, that's what I think. Anyone, if anybody's got any different information and wants to inform me, that will be gratefully accepted. But if it's a plain piece, and then that's just got age spots through nature, I'm assuming I can just scan that. There we go. So that is how I made that document look older, and that is now ready to pop in a pocket however I want to. That's not how I had it closed up, is it? That way. So that could pop in a pocket, pop it in a pocket that way, and yeah, adding a little bit of interest to your journals. And now if I take one of these sheets that I got, I'll just use this little one that's got the printing both sides. You could cut it with a trimmer, guillotine if you want. I just rip them. Quick, easy. The edge has got what you want. This is a nice size for a journaling card. I like the fact that it's got that on the side. There you've got a ready-made journaling card. You can see that it didn't match up exactly, so I've got a little bit of brown, well, grey edging there down the back and down the sides. So I might just rip a little bit more off there. Got to press really tight down when it's such a small amount. Get that off. That's got rid of the grey there, so we need to do it along the top as well. There we go. So I keep that for rough paper for writing notes on. I'll ditch these. So in exactly the same way, I'll just go round this. This needs a little bit less doing to it, I think. And I could have printed this on much thicker paper, which I think I have done in the past, so that it could, you know, like cardstock, so it could then just be folded in half, and then you've got a ready-made journaling card on the inside. You can see a fold mark there. It's actually been folded in 4. So you can see that fold mark there. If I fold it down it, give that an inky up, putting that back in. So it will have a faint line on the other side. So that has been in the past folded, and so that could just pop in a pocket, and then you've got journaling space there. And if you want to add a few splodges to it, we can. Just to make it look slightly older. And that's a nice little journaling card. So that's that. So I've got loads that I can create and get them all ready for journals as and when I make them. So I hope that was useful. I say there are plenty of kits. I got this kit from the old design shop, and I got these from museum archives, and yeah, I think it was museum archive. I've got some Artie May's ephemera like this as well, but I'm sure that's one I've sourced myself, and this is the old design shop, so double check before it came on. Okay, so yeah, do give me a like and subscribe if you found this useful. If you've got any other things that you can add to what I've told you that you've done before, suggestions of paper that you could put. I have printed on parchment paper before now as well. That's quite a nice look. And I know some people use newsprint paper, and but I quite like, I don't think newsprint paper is really any thinner than this, and this was easy to source on Amazon and not very expensive at all. I've got 80 sheets, bought it during lockdown. Got shed loads left. They're also really good. I've printed on this and then ironed on wax, so making my own vellum, and that's quite good with paper this thin. It gives a really nice result. So that's another little tip there. I think it was doing that somebody suggested buying a layout paper. So yeah, so I can link down below to these stamp sets and the ink if you're interested, and yeah, I shall be back soon with another video. Bye for now.